I have some bullish news when it comes to Quant, because quite a while back ago, it was announced that when it comes to Quant and R3, they were selected as technology providers for the UK's regulated liability network. Now, let's get into this more specifically, because some people, first of all, they may think, okay, what's R3? Now, it's been noted that R3 is the enterprise distributed ledger technology and services firm. Now, granted, is it like very popular? No, but I think this is great news nonetheless, because if we take a look at this, right, Quant, again, it's been selected to produce the technology prototype for the experimentation phase of the UK's regulated liability network, led by the UK Finance and supported by EY. Now, you got to think about this. This is massive. I mean, this is how amazing Quant is. And not to mention, you take a look at EY, right? It's one of the big four accounting firms. It's massive. I have many friends who work at EY, by the way, but even besides that point, we take a look at how when it comes to all of this, this is just insane. I mean, this is how legendary Quant is. When people like to say that, yeah, Quant's not really doing anything, man, it's trash, all this type of stuff. Well, no, I disagree. I mean, it's even partners with Oracle, allegedly the world's largest data management company. You got to think about this, right? This is how legendary Quant is. So when I say Quant hypothetically going to the price of $5,000 during this bull run, some people like to say that, oh yeah, it's trash, it's unrealistic. No, I disagree. I think Quant is that special because on top of it not really being such a crazy target to begin with, the market cap at that point, considering current circulating supply, would only be around $60 billion. I mean, come on, right? We take a look at how Dogecoin even reached over $80 billion in market cap. BNB reached over $100 billion. This is like almost nothing in the grand scheme of things. At least that's the way I take a look at it. And not to mention, when you take a look at the GDP of the UK, right, just to visualize as to how massive this is, you know, again, the GDP of it back in 2022 was around $3 trillion. So yeah, that's insane. When you think about what Quant is doing, it's far beyond partnering with celebrities, you know, gating random attention or hype. No, that's not the case, right? They're actually trying to solve real world problems. They're actually trying to do massive things. And I think oftentimes people, they're used to, you know, meme coins announcing every single little thing they do on X. And then they're used to that because it populates their feed and they're like, oh yeah, this meme coin's doing this, it's doing this. And there's nothing wrong with them announcing that. But at times, you know, it's very confusing. Like, what are they even trying to do? Like, for instance, sometimes I see a project, they say, yeah, we're in phase 1 of doing this. It's like, what does phase 1 even mean? They don't even explain that. They say, we're in talks with a celebrity. What does that mean? All that could mean is that they talk to their manager or something like that, or DM them. You never really know, right? The way you take a look at projects that constantly update for no reason, it's kind of like that one friend who goes to like Cabo for spring break, and then all they do is like post random nonsense, like every 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It's like, yeah, you know, eating at the hotel buffet. It's like, okay, as if no one has eaten there before. Also on top of it, they're like, yeah, we're going to the beach. Well, okay, I mean, it's not like no one has been to the beach before, and they're saying, yeah, we're walking, you know, this way to the beach. Who cares? The way you take a look at Quant, it's like that one friend who goes on vacation, but then only like posts like once or twice. That's enough. That's my style. You know, I don't need to post that much. You know what I mean? Just one or two is okay. But yeah, even besides that point, I can't say I'm really surprised that Quant is doing all of this, because if you take a look at it, for instance, what makes up the Quant network? There's two things, right? The Overledger OS and the Overledger network. The Overledger OS allows something called a multi-chain application to be built. And just to visualize as to how special this is, through this, for instance, right, I can build an application that takes advantage of the speed of the Stellar blockchain, which is lightning fast, but then at the same time take advantage of the strength, or should I say the security of the Bitcoin blockchain. That's how amazing it is. Again, through the Overledger OS, I can build an application that takes advantage of quite essentially multiple blockchains. This is how amazing it is. Building on only just one blockchain, that's like a caca thing, man. That's a thing of the past. No one likes that. I mean, come on, right? We want multiple blockchains, if that makes sense. And that's how special the Overledger OS is. Not to mention, the Overledger network is made up of the Overledger OS users, and on there, they can share their data, their apps, their resources, and of course, monetize them. So yeah, this is how amazing the Quant network is. Sometimes people don't take this into consideration, but then I do, because I think it's very special. Not to mention, Quant is so rare, you know, maximum supply. Depending on the website or exchange, of course, it's around 14.6 to around 14.8 million. It's actually very little in the grand scheme of things. You know, Bitcoin's maximum supply is 21 million. So yeah, just take that into consideration. Not to mention, Quant, they're even focused on NFTs with something called QRC 721. So that's amazing. And also on top of that, again, their partnerships are A+. And then Quant's just getting started. Keep in mind, this isn't the end all be all, when it comes to Quant, because some people think that, yeah, Quant, it's already peaked, all this type of stuff. No, I disagree. I think better days are ahead, because when something is this amazing, man, again, I do believe that there are brighter days ahead. And the fantastic thing about Quant is that it's not a project that's going to disappear once the hyper fans are gone. No, that's not the case, because it has an actual use case, right? It's not some random caca nonsense that's focused on creating like bratwurst extenders or something like that. That's not the case here. We're talking about real deal things here. Of course, not financial advice. And it's not like this bull run is going to be so bad, There's currently over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research. Also take a look at the Bitcoin ETF, the number of institutional investors, the amount of enterprise adoption, also the Ethereum ETF. I mean, all of this is very massive for the crypto space overall. I think what we're seeing right now is just a small taste of what's to come in the future. As Bitcoin reaches the price of $150,000, let's say, I mean, could you imagine what happens to altcoins then? As the old saying goes, a high tide raises all ships. So I think as Bitcoin does well, as the sentiment for altcoins changes, and it just moves on beyond meme coins and AI projects, I think we could very well see something like Quant again go along with the ride and reaching the price of $5,000. That right there wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to happen like this year, but just imagine 6 months from right now, a year from right now, I think things could be so different, because once that altcoin season is fully in fifth gear, there's really no telling, how well it could do. Because back in 2021, was anyone expecting Bitcoin to reach those great heights? Was anyone expecting, altcoins in general to do that well? No, I mean, back then everyone thought that, yeah, it's caca, all this, but again, the crypto space did prove a lot of people wrong. And I think that this time around, I don't see why it would be any different. That's why I'm staying patient when it comes to Quant. All I got to do right now is just dollar cost average, accumulate any time on income, hold, and just wait again, because that's the only thing that's within my control, right? I can't demand things to pump whenever I want to. That's not the case. Again, all I got to do is stay patient. But when I see something this amazing, of course I'm going to stay patient, because it's so fantastic. And the crazy thing about Quant is that I think sometimes people don't realize just how special it is. They take a look at the name, they take a look at the price, and then they automatically assume that it's caca. But, the relatively speaking low price of Quant, that right there is not an accurate representation as to how well it's doing. Because I think that when something is this amazing, low prices like what we're seeing right now, it doesn't represent just how special it is. Sometimes people think that, low prices means that it's bad. No, that's not the case. Because again, when there's a large sell-off, when the sentiment really isn't there, it doesn't mean that the fundamentals became bad. You know what I mean? At least that's the way to take a look at it. And here's the thing. When it comes to Quant, it really doesn't have that many good competitors. I mean, if you think about it, it's pretty much kind of like the market leader within the space that it's focused on. So when people think about Quant, the fantastic thing about it is that because there isn't that many good competitors, imagine once developers, once enterprises want to build multi-chain applications, most likely they're going to choose something like the Overledger OS, because again, if there isn't that many good options to begin with, of course, the amount of good options that they have, the higher probability of them actually being chosen. And especially Quant, again, being the most reputable one out there, arguably speaking, the one having the most attention, I think it would only be natural that it gets selected moving forward. And keep in mind, there's thousands of applications as of right now, but I think there's going to be more in the future. As blockchain adoption grows, as the crypto space overall gains more attention, gains more hype, I think it's only fair to assume that there's going to be more applications moving forward. And again, only natural to assume that because of that, of course, there's also going to be a greater need for multi-chain applications. So again, when you take a look at Quant, I think it's going to be around for a very long time, 10 years from right now, 15, 20 years. I don't see why not, because it's not some sort of random project that's focused on partnering with celebrities or something like that. No, that's not the case. When it comes to Quant, I think it's so fantastic, and reaching the price of $5,000, during this bull run, that right there wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. I think this bull run could be that special. I think Quant is that fantastic. And also there's so much bullish news when it comes to Quant, and I really can't wait. And by the way, if you want to know my exit strategy when it comes to Quant, you want to know what other projects I'm holding in my portfolio, and also on top of that, if you want me to review your portfolio, feel free to join my Discord. The link is in the description below if you want to. And also on top of that, feel free to also become a channel member. That way I can prioritize responding to your comments. And also you can use special cool badges, which I think is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, even besides that point, again, Quant at the price of $5,000 during this bull run wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe. If you gain value from this video, I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Winley the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.